He thought he had seen everything in life. He thought nothing could surprise him anymore. Money, power, fame, he had it all. That night, the millionaire came home earlier than usual. The house was supposed to be silent, cold, empty, just like his heart had been for years. But when he opened the door, he heard something that made him stop. Laughter, soft voices, then crying. He walked slowly, his steps silent on the marble floor, and what he saw in the living room froze him. His nanny was sitting on the floor with his two daughters. The girls were holding an old photo album he had locked away. Their hands were shaking, their eyes were wet, and the nanny was whispering something that made their faces change forever. He felt his chest tighten. He had no idea what was happening, and for the first time in years, he was afraid of the truth. Before we dive into the topic, don't forget to like the video, subscribe channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. He stood there in silence, his heart pounding like it wanted to escape. He didn't step closer. He didn't speak. He just listened. Inside, he felt something he had buried for a long time. Guilt, fear, and a strange feeling he couldn't name. This was supposed to be just another ordinary night. He expected nothing. But what he was about to discover would change his life forever. He was a man who built an empire from nothing. People called him cold, unstoppable, untouchable. After his wife died, he closed his heart to everyone, even to his own daughters. He gave them the best schools, the best toys, the best house, but he never gave them himself. He thought love was a weakness. He thought emotions were dangerous. So he stayed away, busy, silent, distant. And then he hired the nanny, a quiet woman with calm eyes and a gentle voice. He didn't ask much about her. He didn't care. She was just someone to take care of the girls while he chased success. But that night, as he watched from the doorway, he realized something terrifying. This woman knew his daughters better than he did. She knew their fears, their dreams, their tears, and now she was telling them a secret he never knew existed. His mind raced. Who was she really? How did she know so much about his past? And what truth was she about to reveal to his daughters? And to him, he held his breath, and in that moment, he understood one thing: some truths are more powerful than money. He wasn't always like this. There was a time when he laughed easily, when his house felt warm, when his daughters ran into his arms without fear. But everything changed the day his wife died. The accident was sudden. One moment she was there, smiling, talking about dinner. The next, she was gone. He never saw her again. No goodbye, no last words. And something inside him died with her. He buried himself in work, meetings, deals, flights, money. He told himself staying busy was the only way to survive. If he stopped, he would feel the pain, and he was terrified of feeling anything. His daughters were still small. They cried for their mother. They waited for their father, but he kept his distance. He believed he was protecting them. He believed love only led to loss. So he replaced love with luxury. He hired tutors, chefs, drivers, and nannies. He gave the girls everything money could buy, except himself. At night, when the house was quiet, he sometimes walked past their rooms. He listened to their soft breathing. He wanted to go in. He wanted to hug them, but fear stopped him. What if he got attached again? What if he lost them too? So he stayed cold, silent, distant. When the previous nanny quit, he barely noticed. He just told his assistant to hire someone new. No interviews, no questions. And that's how Elena entered their lives. She was calm, respectful, and quiet. She didn't talk too much. She didn't ask personal questions. She just smiled and did her job. At first, he barely remembered her name. She was just another employee in his giant house. But slowly, things began to change. The girls started laughing more. They started talking at dinner. They started asking about their mother again. That made him uncomfortable. He avoided those conversations. He avoided those memories. And yet, something about Elena felt familiar. She moved through the house like she already knew it. She found things no one else could find. She remembered details he himself had forgotten. He noticed, but he chose to ignore it, because deep inside, he was afraid that the past he buried was starting to come back. That evening, everything was supposed to be normal. Another long day, another tired mind, another empty house. But the meeting ended early. For the first time in years, he drove home before sunset. The sky was darkening, the city lights starting to glow. He thought the house would be silent, just like always. No laughter, no noise, just echoes and footsteps. But when he opened the door, he heard voices. Soft voice, warm voice, his daughter's voice. He stopped. They were laughing in his house. That almost never happened anymore. His hand slowly closed the door behind him. He didn't want them to know he was home. He didn't know why. Maybe he didn't want to break that moment. He walked quietly down the hallway. Each step felt heavy. His heart was beating faster, and he didn't understand why. Then he heard her voice. Elena? Calm, gentle, emotional. It paused near the living room. The lights were low. The house felt different, warmer. He stayed in the shadows and listened. His daughters were sitting close to her. Their voices were soft now. No laughter anymore, only whispers. Then he heard something that made his body freeze. Your mother used to sing this to you every night. Elena said softly. How did she know that? He never told anyone. That song died with his wife, or so he thought. He leaned closer, his mind racing. The girls asked questions. Questions he never answered. Questions he avoided for years. And Elena answered them, slowly, carefully, like she was walking on broken glass. Then there was silence. Long silence. The kind that makes your chest hurt. He heard a soft sniff, then another. His daughters were crying, his hands clenched into fists. He felt anger, fear, confusion. Why were they crying? What was she telling them? What right did she have to talk about their mother? He stepped closer, but still hidden. And then he saw it. The old photo album, the one he locked in his private office. The one no one was allowed to touch. It was open in her hands. His mind went blank. How did she get it? Why was she showing it to them? He wanted to walk in and shout, but something stopped him. A strange feeling. A feeling that whatever he was about to hear would change everything. The room felt different after the truth came out. Not loud, not angry, just heavy. The billionaire stayed silent for a long time. Inside, his mind was fighting itself. Could a child really hold the answer he had searched for 10 years? Could this be hope, or a cruel lie? He finally spoke, his voice low and unsure. Show me what you have. The boy's hands trembled as he opened his father's notebook. Pages were old, yellow, filled with drawings, formula-based words. To others, it looked like madness. To him, it was his father's soul on paper. The doctors leaned closer. Some laughed quietly, some frowned, some went silent. This theory is advanced, one doctor whispered, but it's risky, very risky. The boy listened carefully. He felt fear rising inside his chest. What if this failed? What if he destroyed the last hope this man had? The mother held her breath. She wanted to stop everything. She had already lost her husband. She didn't want to lose her son to false hope. The billionaire asked quietly, what happens if we try? And it fails? The doctor paused. You could lose even the tiny chance of recovery. Silence again. Long, painful. The billionaire felt the weight of the decision. He had lost sight. He had lost peace. He had lost trust in people. What more could he lose? The boy's voice broke the silence. My father believed this could work. He never got the chance to prove it. Inside, he remembered his father's tired smile, his shaking hands, his final words. He felt like his father was watching him, waiting. The billionaire took a deep breath. For 10 years, I've lived in darkness, he said. If there is even a small chance, I will take it. The doctors warned again, the staff whispered. The mother cried silently. But the decision was made. That night, the boy couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling, thinking of his father, thinking of the man who ruined his life, thinking of the miracle that might happen. Fear and hope fought inside his heart, and somewhere in that silence, destiny was preparing something no one could imagine. Days passed slowly. Every hour felt like a year. The billionaire stayed silent most of the time. He was scared to hope, scared to dream, scared to be disappointed again. The boy waited, counting every heartbeat. He remembered his father's voice in his head, repeating the same words again and again. This will matter someday. Then one morning, something strange happened. The billionaire woke up and froze. At first, he thought it was imagination, but then he felt something he hadn't felt in 10 years. Light, not darkness, not emptiness, light. He blinked again and again. Shadows appeared, shapes, movement. His hands started shaking. He tried to speak, but no words came out. Tears rolled down his face, real tears, the kind he had forgotten how to cry. The doctors rushed in. They tested him again and again. Their voices changed, from doubt to shock. It's working, one whispered. The boy stood quietly, his heart pounding so fast he thought it would break. He didn't scream. He didn't celebrate. He just felt his father's dream slowly becoming real. The world found out quickly. News channels, reporters, scientists, everyone wanted to know the story. How did a poor child do what the best doctors couldn't? Who is this boy? Where did this research come from? And then the truth came out. The notebook, the forgotten scientist, the stolen research, the man who died in silence. People across the world were shocked. They shared the story everywhere. They called the boy a miracle. They called his father a hidden genius. But inside, the boy felt something different. He didn't feel victory. He felt sadness. His father should have seen this day. His father should have been here. The billionaire listened to the news quietly. For the first time, he could see the world again. But for the first time, he also saw his past mistakes clearly. And what he realized next would change his life forever. The truth hit him harder than blindness ever did. For years, he believed he was a victim of fate. Now he realized he was part of someone else's tragedy. He listened to the reports again and again. The scientist, the stolen research, the fired employee, the man who died poor, forgotten, unheard. And that man was the boy's father. His hands started shaking. He had regained sight, but he felt like he was seeing a ghost. Every memory returned like a storm. The meetings, the papers, the decisions he signed without caring. He remembered the name. He remembered the file he ignored. He had destroyed the man who saved him. The billionaire called the boy and his mother. When they arrived, he didn't speak at first. Silence filled the room again. But this time, it wasn't fear. It was guilt. I didn't know, he whispered. But I should have known. His voice broke. He had never cried in front of anyone before. Now he couldn't stop. I took his work. I erased his name. I destroyed his future. And he still saved me through you. The boy looked at him quietly. He didn't smile. He didn't shout. Inside, he felt something strange. Pain mixed with peace. My father believed knowledge should help people. He said softly, he never wanted revenge. Those words hurt more than anger ever could. The billionaire stood up slowly and bowed his head. Not as a powerful man, not as a boss, but as a human being who made a terrible mistake. He announced everything publicly. He admitted the truth to the world. He created a foundation in the scientist's name. He gave scholarships to blind patients, researchers, and poor students. But inside, he knew nothing could bring that man back. He regained his sight, but he also gained something heavier, a lifetime of regret. And the boy? He didn't just restore someone's vision. He restored his father's honor. And that was the miracle his father never lived to see.